What I'll share today is basically two case studies, or basically what our journey, or my journey has been as a marketeer for these past few years. Jollibee Food Corp, who they are, well, one 220 billion food company. They have 13 brands all over the world, around 3,200 stores worldwide. So obviously, wherever you see a Filipino contingent or a Filipino community, you'll basically see a Jollibee, right? Or even in the US, you got Red Ribbon, you got Mag Inasal and whatnot. And eventually, we want to basically dominate the world. I'll share some of the challenges and whatnot. But first challenge, obviously, the way consumers are, they've been changing, right? I'd like to call them Generation C or 2020. Right? Everybody's gearing up for the millennials, the zennials, the new type of consumers that are actually there. So who are they? They're actually connected and in control of how they consume and how they do their business. 3 billion people are online. I mean, there are a lot of stats that are coming out the whole day, and 2.8 of them actually own smartphones, right? So in terms of access to data, it's there. In terms of Twitter, 305 million, 84% of them actually don't trust us, marketeers. They trust their peers more than us. So whenever they buy something, the first thing they will ask is basically, what do you think about this product, right? They're gonna post it on Facebook, they're gonna post it on Instagram and ask their friends and family. Same with B2B buyers, right? 77% of them actually ask their peers first. No? They ask their fellow buyers and whatnot and say, is this vendor good? Or is this product good? So as in JSC, we had a lot of, in terms of challenges internally. So as a brand, obviously, we're a multi-brand company, right? So how can we better measure this type of results? Do we just count the number of chickens we sell? Or do we count the number of burgers we sell? We needed to understand the customer behavior, right? So since we have 13 brands all over the world, we had to profile them. Yes, we know how much chicken, but we actually don't know the face of the customer, meaning, you know, do I know that Richard comes to our store during his birthday to buy a cake in Red Ribbon? Or if he likes pizza, will he go to Greenwich and whatnot? No? So there are multiple databases across the board, and it was fragmented in the way that JFC couldn't kind of understand back then. And one is obviously we want to incentivize them to really come to our stores. Now, on the store's perspective, it's very different, the challenges that they have, right? They want to increase their average check. They want to increase the transaction count, right? There are a lot of pilferages in the counter, you know, money being kept in the pocket by the cashiers and whatnot. And for all you know, lack of coins. In Jollibee, we had issues. We had to work with 5 to 6 banks because we don't have enough coins circulating in Manila. And I guess most of you, if not all of you, would have piggy banks, and that's where all the coins are, right? So they would normally deal with a lot of them, right? So obviously, for as a store, if you're a franchisee, you also want to reduce your operational costs. Customers are considered to be king. They always want to be recognized, right? They always want to be VIPs in everything that they do. They don't want to line up. They want to always be first in line, right? They want special promos. They don't like to wait. They don't like dirty money. They don't want loose money. And last, you know, they want value for money. So they're actually spoiled right now, especially the advent of social media, wherein they actually check deals first before coming to our stores. So the solution thought by JFC back then, that was back in 2011 or 12 when we launched the program, where can we have all the brands work together? But basically, it's an NFC technology, wherein it's a loyalty program with a built-in card system. People thought that we were crazy to launch a prepaid program for QSR, because how much burgers can you eat actually in a day or in a week, right? So we actually launched a program wherein we incentivize our card holders to actually load their money. So we got a lot of loyal card holders that come to our store. In fact, at this point in time, I believe there are roughly around 8 million of them right now. That's how big the loyalty program right now is. And basically, they load 300 pesos into their card. It's the highest in Kelto lingo ARPU in terms of loading the card. So what happens is they load the card. If they're coming to our stores 4 times a month, they load already 500 bucks. And what do they get by loading? They get additional points every time they spend. They get special lane whenever they go to our stores. And they get special promos. For example, if they buy in Greenwich, they get buy one, take one pizza off the bat if you're a card holder. So if you are really a loyal card holder, then obviously this program is for you, right? Aside from that, there's when it's your birthday, you get a cake from Red Ribbon and whatnot. And you get a lot of promos and offering. And this is all contactless. We're using NFC technology. So basically within 1 second, you tap the card, you're done. In Jollibee, when you come to lunch, normally the lines, even if there are 10 counters right there, they're normally 10-man deep, right? And most often than not, you'd walk past Jollibee because you don't want to line up, because you only have an hour lunch, right? So that's basically how we were able to improve the program, how to grow the program, and incentivize them. So the people who couldn't get their credit cards, people who couldn't apply for one, made Happy Plus like their first credit card. It became a bragging right for them, aspirational. It made them say, hey guys, I'll treat you. And he keeps on tapping. Hold and behold, he had to load it. But to his friends, there's that benefit that, oh wow, he's treating us and he just keeps on tapping, right? Now, I'll wear my other hat and present to you what we plan to do also to Unioil. Obviously, in a petroleum environment, it's not as sexy as Jollibee, right? We got the mascot, we got the dancing bee there. For a petroleum company, and being the first independent player for that sort, we're up against the big three, right? The multinationals. And how will we differentiate ourselves when we go to market? Well, for one, I would talk to you in a sense of advocacy mode, wherein a new day would always mean new choices for all of us. We have the option to choose exactly what we want to do, right? Just this morning, we had an option whether we will stand up, wake up, or actually snooze and continue sleeping, right? Going to work, we can go by ourselves, or do carpool, right? And you do carpool karaoke if you want on the way to work for a 2-hour traffic, right? We can turn the lights on, or we can turn it off. We can shop with just plastic bags, or when we shop, we bring our eco bag with us. Again, do we pay cash? Or do we use mobile apps that can actually do transactions without cash involved? Do we help out someone who actually just fell, or just move along? You know, each day, we have that power to decide exactly what we want to do. We have choices. So decisions like these, means consequences, right? And basically, for us at Unioil, we value these types of choices. We want to make the world greener, and we want to make a place to drive at cleaner and be able to live better. In 2002, we launched Euro 2, right? In 2013, we launched Euro 4. And then in 2017, we launched the Euro 5 fuel. So for people who don't know what Euro 5 fuel is, it is actually the cleanest range of fuels out in the market. It is only Unioil that has Euro 5 fuels at the moment, right? Everybody else is at Euro 4. So what do you get out of loading up Euro 5 fuels, right? For one, 77% of your emission is cleaner, right? So that means less cost on your maintenance, less cost on the maintaining your car and loading up. And Euro 5 is across all ranges, whether it's diesel, gasoline 91, 95, or 97, right? So with cleaner fuel, then you are friendlier to the environment. As part also of the advocacy of Unioil, we are also using Air Visual. We are partnered with Air Visual. AirVisual.com is an international organization that actually tracks air health in the environment. So when you click that, you can check anywhere in the world whether you're in Milan or whether you're in Barcelona or in Manila, and check basically what type of fuel or what type of air currently you are enjoying. So just today, I checked we're good, right? Tomorrow, we're also good. But for other cities in the metropolis, you'd notice, I don't know if you can see it, it goes from orange to red, you know? And this basically shows you where we at in traveling. And people are wondering, for a petroleum company, why are you guys pushing something that's monitoring the air, right? We're doing. Because we're very confident in Unioil that the fuel that we're selling to the market is actually very clean. What is the smart flower? The smart flower is a solar-powered, you see the thing on the top? Wherein it tracks where the sun is, and it basically moves where the angle of the sun, so it gets a maximum amount of power to be able to, there you go, to be able to see where it's best to put it, right? So it automatically follows. And this basically powers our stations. So it lessens our costs in terms of Meralco costs, right? And it basically helps the environment again. Now, on top of that, we're also the only company that has electronic vehicle charging stations. If you go to our Guadalupe station or in EDSA, right after Forbes to the right, you will be able to see charging stations. Now, aside from having beautiful stations with solar power, having electronic chargers, we also have the Unioil Tower, which is right across TechTite. By September, I'd like to invite you to come over and experience one of the most sophisticated buildings in the country. So this will be the second LEED building where everything is sustainable, everything is green. You can actually drink from the tap water. That's how clean the water is. So even our tenants are happy because they don't need to buy gallons of water anymore. So they can just turn it up and drink. So everything's sustainable down to the aircon. I think this will be the first chiller magnetic aircon system in the country. So this is a Japanese technology that's being used already in Japan, and it will be brought over here by Mitsubishi to build this tower. So if you see a big oil drop building in TechTite, right across TechTite, that is the Unioil Tower, and I would like to invite you by September. We are now utilizing renewable and sustainable energy. We are now able to have random acts of kindness. No, so random kindness to the planet, to ourselves, and to our people. So if each and every one of us collectively do a little of our part, we are now able to, in a way, save our planet.